Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another picture with Derwent Graphitint coloured pencils. And this is a tin of 24 coloured pencils. It's the same tin I've used before. And this is the shade tester that I did using all of the pencils. Oops, it's still upside down. Okay, so on the left are the pencils without adding water, and on the right with adding water. So I've done two little squares for each colour. And I always do these shade cards whenever I get new paints or new pencils. It's quite a simple sketch today. It's the sketch of a creek with a wrecked boat in it. It's from a photo that my son took. And it's just of one of our local creeks here in Cornwall. Now I'm not drawing this out with graphite pencil, I'm drawing it out with one of the coloured pencils. You can still erase them just as easily as graphite, as long as you don't press too hard. But it just means that you don't get graphite dust into your coloured pencil drawing. And I always do this, particularly if you're doing a portrait, because you don't want that grey dust on your skin tones. I'm just doing the background hills. The way this picture turned out, the background hills were the bit that I liked the most. The boat I felt needed more contrast, which these pencils couldn't really give it. So maybe it was the wrong medium to have used for this actual drawing. But it's all about experimenting and learning. I think I might use this source picture again and do a watercolour from it. But I was quite pleased with the hills in the background. I like these pencils in that I think they're really good for drawing like winter scenes or dull and overcast scenes. They're not bright, they're quite dull, and they give an addition to just doing something in graphite and just having it in greys. They give you some more colour. And when you add the water to them, because these are water soluble pencils, it really does increase the colour, as always happens with watercolour pencils. So typical Cornish low hills in the background. With this set, I was always quite disappointed that they didn't have a yellow or a slightly brighter green, a more olivey green. Just drawing in some of the details of the wrecked boat. It's always a sad sight to see like the skeleton of an old boat. As you think it was once a useful boat, it had a life, and now it's just a bare skeleton, and really this boat has passed the point of being able to be renovated. So it will just decay. And it has got a really nice shape. I'm sure it once had really nice lines. It was probably a fishing boat. It's not a dinghy size, it's bigger than a dinghy. and it has these like wooden planks coming out the sides, which I'm not sure whether there was once a cabin on it. It doesn't really look like it had a cabin, but I'm not too sure what they're for. Maybe there's something to do with the fishing. Maybe it just had more superstructure than it's got now. Just adding in some shading for the mud, because this was at low tide, and so the boat is sitting on the mud. I'm sure that she actually sits on the mud even at high tide, because I think there's very little chance that it floats with such huge holes in. See, right up in the bow there's a big split. I also don't think that my composition was totally right. I think the boat should be in either further to the right or further to the left. I don't like putting things in the centre. But as always, I'm my own worst enemy. I can always see all the faults in my work. But I enjoy doing it all the same. And as I always say, every time you pick up a pencil, you learn something. And this is a sketch, so this is just a learning tool. And I enjoyed doing it, which is the main purpose of me doing my sketches. There is a little bit of water out there in the creek, which you will see. I did add some blue, which, although the water is quite brown, but you will see the water when I add water to the picture. I do love using coloured pencils. There's something about them that's very therapeutic. I have some Derwent sketching pencils, which I haven't done a video of yet, which I will in the future. Just coming in and laying down some detail in the foreground where the mud is. Which I hope gives it some distance, so that you have the foreground, the middle ground, and then the background. You can hear my neighbour's dog barking, probably. That's Lowen. Now I'm adding the water. First of all, I'm starting at the top so that I don't get my sleeve caught into what I've already painted. And you can see how those colours come much darker as I add the water. And some colours change more than others. So that's got ready. There is the blue, the flash of the water. It's more of a grey blue because the sky was quite grey. Now what I found, I couldn't really get the contrast that I wanted on the boat, which is a shame. But I maybe just chose the wrong medium to do this in. Just adding a few ink highlights here and there, just to kind of define things like the rope and also the hull of the ship, of the boat, and its planks. One thing I forgot to say is that the paper that I've used is Bristol board, which is a drawing paper. It's not a watercolour paper. But it is quite a firm paper, so it has taken the water quite well. Plus adding some definition to the foreground, like some pebbles and things like that. So just doing this with some black ink, which just gives it a little bit more definition. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video today and that you will consider subscribing to my channel, as it really helps. And hopefully see you next time. Bye!